on your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions, and Baum-Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hello, Arkansas, and how are you on this fine Wednesday morning? Phil Elson, Matt Jenkins, Matty with for the next couple of hours. It is halftime. Meat hooks are coming up in an hour. The weekend's going to start a little earlier than usual, just like last week, because as far as we're concerned, the weekend begins Friday when you're playing in the NCAA baseball postseason. So we get a long weekend. Again, yippee, yippee-ki-yay. So, meat hooks in about an hour. Gosh, this just hit me, Smackdown.
Yeah.
This just hit me because, like, your last day is next Friday?
Next Friday, June 18th.
The new dude, like, what are we going to do about the meat hooks every Wednesday at noon?
Oh, maybe
like during football season, we'll crumple up the box score, but when it's not football season, we got to have some meat hooks. What are we going to do?
Well, you could probably do a nice high quality ASMR recording of my hands clapping together until football season. Then that'll give you boys some time to try to figure out what's going to replace the meat hooks. Well, or we could just have a weekly. I'll have a weekly call-in spot. While I'm teaching, just be like, kids, hang on, I got to pause for a second. I got to call in real quick.
Yeah, it's time for my weekly meat hook session. Well, and I don't even know what new guy looks like. Maybe he's got large hands and can rattle the windows and force the faults underneath us to cause some earthquakes, just like you've done for a little more than a year now. Anyway, it just hit me. So I'm gonna have to really enjoy today's meat hooks and next week's meat hooks, because then I might not get them again for the rest of my life. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to get you to text me
just a hand clapping emoji.
Yeah, that's exactly right. B said it would be the ASMR portion of the show. That's exactly what it is, because it's the crumpling of the box score or the meat hooks. We'll figure out some other things to do with the new guy, because by the way, his name is not Matt, which means, gosh, I don't even know if he needs a nickname. Like, we were forced to choose a nickname for you, Jenkins, because you can't really have two guys with the same name on the show.
That's
and
true.
Just try to address them over and over again. So with a Matt and a Drew, I don't know if we need to do a nickname.
I feel like you have. I mean, I feel like you need to at least try to bring up like Sasquatch again, because I'll tell you this: the guy he's as tall as me. He's not as husky and beautiful as I am. But he is a rather tall fellow, and I've been told that he's going to bring. Yeah, huh?
We can call him Stretch, maybe.
Yeah, Stretch. Yeah, maybe Stretch Stretch Drew or Drew Stretch or something.
Stretch Francis,
yeah,
something like that.
What was the song? Stretch maybe. Armstrong.
I know. I've heard of Stretch Armstrong. I don't know what song it was a part of, but I mean, it's a good nickname. That's a nickname that Willie McCovey had, Hall of Fame first baseman for the Giants, and I think he was called Stretch because he was tall and was good at stretching, playing first base, as a first baseman has to do.
True.
So it would make a lot of sense. Yeah, if you're tall, Stretch should be one of your go-to nicknames. Yeah, I would say that pretty much describes it for me. So we'll figure it out. We'll start getting to know him next week. I know we'll be in the studio next week.
Yeah, we'll start to get to know him, and we're not going to do any goodbye celebrations for a lot of people that are probably chomping at the bit for me to leave your airwaves over here. At least there's a few Twitter guys that don't agree with me, and also they're probably jumping up and down for joy that we're talking about this right now.
Come on. Well, we're not going to be playing any sound of a door hitting you in your butt on the way out on Friday. That's for sure. I'm going to shed some tears.
Maybe we can just let the new guy, or both of you, Maddie, can jump in on it. Y'all can suplex me out of ESPN Arkansas or something. Give me some sort of wrestling send off.
So how many of us would it take to suplex SmackDown? Truly not. It's like how many radio broadcasters does it take to screw in a light bulb? How many of us at ESPN Arkansas would it take to properly suplex SmackDown without injuring ourselves?
Oh, we're not worried about injuring me?
Well, I would imagine you could take the drop.
I would take the bump. Yeah, that's no problem. I've got enough cushion.
Very interesting. Cody wants to know where SmackDown is going. He's moving on in life. Go ahead and tell him what you got going on. It's okay because I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him, and I think he's got great things moving forward.
Thank you. Jared Jefferson on our Facebook page chimed in, wanted to know where I was going as well. Heading back to BB, going back home, I am teaching a brand new sports broadcasting class and kind of being an event coordinator, a sports information director, video board operator, kind of a little bit of everything all mashed into one, but getting back into teaching and trying to influence or de-influence or however you want to look at it with some of the kids of BB. So going back home, so that's but like what we talked about last week with Brad Davis leaving LSU, leaving Arkansas, heading to LSU, being back home. This is something I've always wanted to do, and that I'd say that this has always been a dream. What I'm doing right now, and I'll bring this up more on Friday. It was always something that I wanted to do. This right here. I mean, I met Maddie.
I love the comparison between you and Brad Davis here. Is there a way you could draw a comparison between the principal of the BB High School and Ed Ogeron?
Give me a second. I can think of something
without being insulting, so you don't lose your new job before it starts.
She's a great leader. She's a great leader and loves to delegate like Coach Ogeron. How's that?
Okay, that works.
But no, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But this has always been a dream what I'm doing right now. So I thank both of you guys. I mean, I've known Maddie for 15 plus years at this point. He met me when I was just a little high school stinker. And I mentioned this.
High school stinker.
I mentioned this when you got off the air Friday getting ready for the baseball game. I'm not sitting in this chair without him really vouching for me. So I owe a lot of this to you guys. I owe a lot of this to Maddie. So we'll save all the goodbyes and see you later till next week. But for those of you that haven't heard, that's what's fixing to happen.
I love that you're going to be able to take all of the wisdom and knowledge that you have learned over the last 15 months and now properly teach all of that stuff to the BB students, because this is the only way to do radio properly. That was how we've been doing it while you've been here with us on ESPN.
Well, heck, you guys remember that when I first got here, it was still in the middle of the school year and pre-pandemic, and heck, all my students in my classes were, instead of teaching, they were watching our show. So had a text there out of the 479 says we need a SmackDown tie rematch before I leave.
This would be a rematch of the Chaos in the Cantina. Here's the other aspect of this too. It's not like he's moving that far away.
No, and
we can still do a Chaos in the Cantina.
Absolutely.
In the future. This could be turned into an annual thing during the Arkansas Mizzou battle line little football game. Why not?
I'm on board with it. And by no means are y'all ever going to get rid of me. I'm still going to call in and bring my insight or whatever insight that I do have, or just be part of the conversation just from a different aspect. So, it's been a blessing. It's been a huge blessing to come out here and kind of like do something different with my personal career. But all roads point home, and I'm blessed and glad to be able returning back home to BB.
So I remember I'd posted on Facebook how proud I am of you and what you're going to do there. And so apparently you want me to come speak to the students.
Of course.
You realize what like Pandora's box you could be opening?
Now, I know exactly.
You're inviting me to come speak to your students?
I know exactly what's open about, because before you come in, I'll just like get the kids like their smart aleck attitudes turned up, and then once like you can be a smart aleck with them, we can all return the favor and do it back and forth like that.
I think the lesson I'll learn, I'll try to teach them, and it's interesting because, like, I still need to finish a media ethics class.
Okay.
For those who aren't aware of this, this isn't a secret. I've talked about this before. Like, I don't have my college degree yet. I haven't been working on it for a long time. But the one thing I've got to do left is do a media ethics course, which I would basically just tell them about with the last 23 years, I guess, of my career. We'll do the whole media ethics thing of knowing the line that you don't want to cross. The line that I've become fairly decent at, like, towing, like putting my foot right near the line and actually the toenail, like, approaching the edge of it and maybe even touching the line without going over it. It's a really difficult lesson to learn, and the fact of the matter is you don't learn that lesson until you stepped over the line.
Exactly. So that's exactly where you're going to come in, and there's going to be the plan is to try to get some of the kids invested in like play-by-play and everything with that, and who better than you to come teach the kids.
You want me to teach them how to throw 7 golden stars at Bubba Carpenter during a broadcast?
Everything that you have to offer, I want the kids
Would
to
you like me to – am I supposed to teach them how to flip ketchup packets at your partner during a baseball broadcast too?
And I want you to teach them your love of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You mean hatred love of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
However you want to portray it.
There's a whole new incident of just proof that the Pirates are hell's answer to the greatest game in the world. 877-377-6963. We've got a Hog Baseball update coming up. Hey, breaking news. Kevin Kopps is really good at baseball. The Golden Spikes Award should be his. They named some other semifinalists. Why? I don't know. Should be Kevin. Right back.
Regional and super regional Omaha's game, we'll have Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction.
Kevin Kopps, if you're listening, I'm married and I don't have many years left, but will you marry me? Will you marry me, Kevin Kopps?
Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction will be live at Walk-On's Fort Smith. Come see us at 4306 Phoenix Avenue. Walk-On's Fort Smith is the #1 place to watch Arkansas punch its ticket to Omaha.
As a rural physician who has been practicing for 40 years, I encourage everyone in Arkansas and all of my patients to get vaccinated. During the time of COVID, I did quite a bit of reading and research. I feel like from all of that evidence that the vaccines are safe and effective.
Save lives. Get your vaccination. Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Are you in need of roofing repairs or maybe more? Construction Master Roofing, who has been under new management since 2019 with over 25 years of experience, is who you need to call. Estimates are free, and military, first responders, and medical workers receive 5% off. Construction Master Roofing guarantees their work, and the number you need to call is 648-8888 in the River Valley, and in Oklahoma, call 918-859-4714. Construction Master Roofing, the roofing company that cares and gets the job done.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey, what's up, Ty?
There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahas.
That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith.
9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams.
That's right. The Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri.
Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
In the mood for a top shelf night? 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of our delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
0-2 pitch. Franzoni hits a fly ball center field. Back goes Franklin, racing and diving and catching Christian Franklin with a run, potentially 2-run saving catch deep in center field.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Listen and watch Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction only at Walk-Ons, 4306 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963.
Time for a Hog Baseball update. One call does it all for Bud Anderson Heating and Cooling. That's 855-GO-CALL-BUD, 855-462-2552. Bud Anderson Heating and Cooling, your experienced heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical specialist. At Bud Anderson, they believe in a whole home approach, providing excellent services to your entire home so you can focus on what matters. Home comfort specialist serving Fayetteville, Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, and more. 855-GO-CALL-BUD or GoCallBud.com. 24 other people other than Kevin Kopps were named finalists for the Golden Spikes Award, one of the two major college baseball awards that focuses on a player of the year that we talked about last week. The other 24 players have bright, shining smiles. And then you look at the Kevin Kopps photo, and he has this steely look of the best player in college baseball. He's a shoo-in for this. As far as I'm concerned, it should be a shoo-in for both this award and for the Dick Hauser Award. Some of the other names on this list you'll recognize if you paid attention to Arkansas baseball this season. Landon Sims, the relief ace for Mississippi State. Kumar Rocker of Vanderbilt. Spencer Schwellenbach, the shortstop and relief pitcher for Nebraska. Doug Nikhazy, who many of you like to refer to as Booger Boy for Mississippi. Ty Madden of Texas. There's Jack Leiter of Vanderbilt. The Hogs did not hit against Leiter. They did hit against and beat Kumar Rocker. Tyler Hardman of Oklahoma. Jace Young of Texas Tech. And Tanner Allen of Mississippi State. Allen, of course, was the SEC Player of the Year. All of these players are on teams that went up against the Razorbacks. And
I think you might have mentioned it already, but Spencer Schwellenbach as well of Nebraska is on this list as well.
Yeah, he is. I did mention that. And I feel Kopps should be a shoo-in here. I really do. It's not to take away any of the seasons that these other 24 players have had, but nobody has had anything resembling the truly unique and historical season that Kevin Kopps has put together. Let's just think of it this way. We have in our mind still the season of Blaine Knight in 2018. And Knight was the big leader of that team that year. Mm-hmm. And they were one out short of a College World Series championship, very much of that because of not just the way that Blaine pitched when he was out there, but the attitude that sort of filtered down from his ultra competitiveness to the rest of the team. Blaine started, I don't remember how many games he started that year, but he went 14-0. That's great. Kevin Kopps very well could, and think about this, that season you had Blaine Knight and Matt Cronin set single-season school records for wins and saves. Kevin Kopps could break both those records this year. Could you just wrap your mind around that for a moment? Relief pitchers are not supposed to challenge for the most wins in a single season in a program history, right? Starting pitchers certainly don't get the chance of the saves, but it's just absolutely incredible. There isn't another player on this team, on this list of 24 players, and that does include a couple of relievers, or at least one in Landon Sims. None of them, not a single one of them, has affected as many games as Kevin Kopps. And if the voters watched Monday's regional final against Nebraska, if they don't vote for Kevin Kopps, then they've got other reasons other than voting for what really is the best player in college baseball.
Well, let me throw this out there. Now, I first off, I 1,000% agree. Like, this is his award right now. But does any semblance of what the voters do? Because I pulled up the dates here. You're voting for right now. It ends on June 15th for the semifinalists. So, and then the voting will continue on for the finalists and anything. What I'm getting at is, does any part of what happens for the rest of this postseason should have any semblance on Kevin Kopps winning this award?
It shouldn't. if there was any doubt in any of these voters, if they watched Monday, that's it.
No, the only reason I bring that up is like if you go 0 for this weekend, you get swept by NC State, and he allows just say like 4 runs, for example. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just saying for conversation's sake, if that were to happen. Okay.
Nope. I know, and I know I'm looking at it through Razorback goggles, but I would also like to try to look at it through realistic goggles here. Of there has simply never been a season by a college baseball player, not just pitcher, player, that has been quite like this. Never. And I doubt there'll ever be anything like it again. You're not going to see relief pitchers affect games as often and as much as Kevin does. So, I mean, I put it out. I think I felt like I put it out there a couple of weeks ago, and it really started to look like, my gosh, he may finish this season with the lowest ERA in the nation, and not just the lowest ERA, but like by far the lowest ERA. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. And the performance he put out there on Monday, like that is one of the most legendary performances in Razorback baseball history. And, I mean, I'm sure there have been other performances in college baseball that measure up to it. Heck, the Kevin Abel, that kid who beat Arkansas for the College World Series championship at the last game of the finals in 2018, that game that he pitched, that's one of those too, but that game ruined his arm. He's never been the same since. Kevin seems to get stronger as the game goes on. Am I worried about him being overused? I am no athletic trainer, man. I am not a doctor, anything like that. I've never seen a pitcher used like this, but when I see that he gets stronger as the game goes on, and his 184th, 85th pitch of the weekend was just as good, if not better, as his 8th or 9th, and he says that he gets stronger as the game goes on, you can't get me to think, gosh, they're gonna crush him. I don't. Maybe it would injure a lesser pitcher. Maybe there would be other guys that this would be a detriment to. Right now, it does not appear to be a detriment at all for Kevin Kopp. So I'm not going to be the person that says you're ruining this kid's career. I'm not ready to. I don't think I'd ever jump on that train right now.
I agree. Got a couple calls we're fixing to get to in a second, but I would also point out too that I don't think Dave Van Horn will ever put him in that position to where he's not physically ready. Is that fair? I mean, yes, you heard him several times say Saturday like they were wanting to take him out just because they thought like he might have been getting tired, and heck, he got better and better and better and better as that game went on. So, but I firmly believe that Dave Van Horn, Matt Hobbs, and that staff is not going to put Kevin Kopp in a bad situation if he's not physically there, mentally there, which we know he's mentally there. The dude's as sharp as a tack when he comes in. And, I mean, if he's ready to pitch and he feels good, you got to go with that, right? I mean, yes, a kid, like a college athlete wants to play and wants to be in there for every pitch, every down, every basket, whatever. But if the guy says he's fine, he's a grown adult. I mean, just to throw it out there, he's 24, fixing to be 25. Like, the dude can make his own decisions for what he thinks his body's capable of. And I don't think he'll necessarily throw for 90 pitches like in one outing this weekend. I don't think that's anything that could happen.
I hope they don't need that.
Exactly, because if you're doing that, then that means Wicklander's doing his job, Wiggins, Nolan, Toll, cost you maybe a Zebulon Vermillion if he's healthy and ready to go. If you've got that kind of output from everybody, not necessarily Kevin Kopp's level, but if you've got that output that Jackson Wiggins isn't giving you 2 or 3 innings, he's giving you 5 or 6 good quality innings. Yeah. Nolan's giving you 3 or 4. Patrick Wicklander just does what he does. Like, there's no ands or buts about that. So as long as everybody else pitches in, you're not going to see a 90 pitch outing from him, which means the cause for concern is gone.
It's true. Hopefully it doesn't need to. But for me, this whole idea of Kevin says he wants to pitch. I trust Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs to do what's right for the pitcher at that time. They trust Kevin to be honest about how he's feeling. It's like this whole chain of trust from fans to the coaches to the player. And not every pitcher earns the chance to say, I got it, coach. I'm fine. I've got plenty left in my arm. Kevin's earned that. And he's earned that through trial by fire, through rehab, through just being who he is. Yeah. So, and Dave referred to, that 2004 regional where he, got some crap for throwing Charlie Boyce maybe a little bit too much, and Boyce was never the same after that. But I think they were looking at that a little bit differently. Like Charlie even says, I wasn't going to have a professional career. This wasn't going to happen. It wasn't anything I was interested in. This is different for Kevin Kopp. Kevin is going to move forward to the professional ranks, hopefully the big leagues, within a year or so. So it's a different situation. and you're working with a much different style athlete too.
I want to throw
Double D has called us up here. Let's get to the call here so we can take our break. We have the radio voice of North Carolina State baseball coming up in the next segment. That's Andrew Sanders. But first, Double D is on the phone. Hey, Double D, you're on halftime. What's up?
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, I tuned in late, so you maybe already said it. Now, is this award strictly by fan votes, or is it a selection committee?
No, the Golden Spikes Award is 95% voted on by media, front office members of Major League Baseball teams. I think there are some scouts, winners of the award, and there's a 5% vote that is fan-based. So you can vote 25 times a day for Kevin Kopps. It'll count for 5% of the vote. The other award, the one that I think is really more like the Heisman for college baseball, the Dick Hauser Award, that's all voted by the National Collegiate Baseball Writers Association.
Okay.
There's no front office members, no fans involved in that vote.
Good deal. I've already voted twice, 2 days in a row, 25 times. But I just want to make sure that wasn't slowly the way he was going to win.
How long did it take you to make 25 votes?
About 30 seconds.
Wow, that's a good use of your time, and you got a pretty quick pointer finger.
You just touch it and it spins, and touch it again, it spins. It's easy.
It really is quick, though. He does bring up a good point.
Double D, appreciate the phone call, man. Thank you. That is. Hey, why are you not voting right now? I feel like we should spend the next hour and a half just like touching our iPads and our computer screens. By the way, you get like 25. Is it 25 votes per person or 25 votes per device?
I would go probably device because I did it 25 on our computer in here and it won't let me do it again.
Okay, well then there are Razorback fans across the state that are right now voting with one in the phone in the right hand, the computer in the left one of the fingers on the left hand. They've got an iPad that they're touching with their right foot. Their left foot is probably on some Amazon device. Other parts of the body can vote too. Just be careful with it, okay? We're talking with Andrew Sanders, the radio voice of North Carolina State baseball, about the Super Regional, which is coming up on Friday, and these programs facing each other for the first time ever. It's halftime, and we're right back.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solution. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Did you invest in real estate only to find out that real estate takes up too much of your time? If you answered yes, then it's time to make a call to the experts. With more than 30 years of combined property management experience and more than 16,000 units managed, Trinity Multifamily are the ones to call. Get your life back. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life.
2-1 to Goodhart is hit high and deep to left center field. That one's got a chance to go. Goodhart over the fence. Hogs have the lead on Matt Goodhart's second swing. He is the fifth Razorback to hit a baker's dozen home runs. He points at his teammates in the dugout and hits home plate. 1-0 Arkansas.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Have a smart speaker? Just say play ESPN Arkansas to listen to Halftime anywhere you go.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
It's Arkansas and it's North Carolina State. Friday, 5 o'clock, game one of the Super Regional. The Hogs trying to make it to Omaha for the third straight College World Series, and the Wolfpack are trying to get there for the second time under longtime head coach Elliott Avent. And we're talking about the Wolfpack baseball team with Andrew Sanders, who has been on the baseball call since 2014. He also does women's basketball broadcast, works on their ESPN Plus, basically does just about everything involving Wolfpack sports. And we appreciate your time, Andrew. How you doing today?
Hey, guys, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. So pretty I would say that the experiences that Arkansas and North Carolina State had in the regionals last week were really opposite, with the exception that they both won the regional. Arkansas struggled. You know, they lost a game. They trailed quite a bit. But that's also one thing that has happened a lot for a number one team, to give up the first run in a game, 29 out of 60 games, and trail as often as they have. It seemed NC State just cruised. What did I count? They led in like 22 of 28 of 27 innings. So it feels like, did they just play their best baseball of the season, Andrew, or has this team got a little more left in them?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they're peaking at the right time. Certainly played just well-rounded ball. You know, they pitched well, they hit well, they fielded it well all year. So, yeah, honestly, I was a bit surprised. I know Alabama's a good SEC team, and Louisiana Tech obviously deserving to host. So I was a bit surprised at how well they were able to do there. I mean, you used the word cruised, and honestly, there was not much stress overall in that weekend except for an early 4-0 lead for Louisiana Tech on Sunday. But, NC State was able to score 14 and pounded out 19 hits in that game and won it going away.
Yeah, I mean, they outscored opponents 31 to 11? Is it 30 to 11? That's what I'm counting here. 30 to 11 over the three games. So right. I'm sure that they were not too nervous, down 4-0 after the top of the third in that championship game against La Tech, because this team can just flat out swing it. Andrew, I'm looking at the numbers for this team. I haven't seen a single game that NC State has played yet, but I'm looking at a team that has patience, has power, makes contact, runs the bases. This looks like a scary-looking offensive team.
Yeah, I think that's why they've had so much success this year is because it's a multi-dimensional offense. They're going to hit for average. They can hit for power as well. They've got, 5 guys with double-digit home runs on the year. I know that's not really impressive to Arkansas. You guys have 6, but they can hit for power and average, and they're going to be very aggressive on the base pass. Good team speed throughout. So this is a team that can play small ball, or they can manufacture runs, or they can have a big inning where there's a 3-run home run. They can do it either way.
Tell me about Elliott Avent. He's been the head coach there. 25 years? Took them to their first College World Series since the '60s in was that 2003?
2013.
2013, sorry. And so this is a program that is up amongst the upper echelon in the ACC, and Avent is responsible for that. What's he like as a head coach?
Oh, just a legendary coach and an awesome human being, and he has been so consistent. It's really been remarkable throughout the years. But looking to make that second trip, as you mentioned, to Omaha. He's coached some great players. That 2013 team had Carlos Rodon, who's with the White Sox, threw a no-hitter this year. And it also had Trey Turner, who won a World Series as starting shortstop with the Washington Nationals. So, this is another talented team. It might not have the star power up top like that 2013 team did, but really, 1 through 9, they can really hit and they defend well. And he's a player's coach, and he loves the university, I think, more than anybody, and he loves his players, and his players love him too. And that's a cool part of this matchup, I think, is that with Coach Avent and Coach Van Horn, just 2 absolute legends in the college game going head-to-head in this one.
Andrew Sanders of North Carolina State Baseball Radio joining us here on Halftime. Andrew, looking at these stats, I mean, all year with this Razorback baseball team, we've been just watching the home run ball after home run ball with over 100 home runs now. NC State will pack a punch, too, with the home runs, 83 home runs on the year. You got a lot of power in this NC State lineup. Johnny Butler batting just over or close to 400 this year, 389. Tyler McDonough, 351. A lot of power in this NC State lineup from the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. And Butler, it's funny. It's hard to keep your average up that high. He ended the regular season as the ACC batting champion. He hit 406 in the regular season.
Wow.
McDonough is the guy that you mentioned. He's going to be really fun to watch this weekend. Keep your eye on him in center field. I mean, he covers so much ground. And then offensively, what's not to love? He's a switch hitting guy that he scored from second base on a ground ball a couple of times this year. He did that in the regional in Ruston. He's just going to be super aggressive on the base path. And I tell you, another guy to look out for would be Devontae Brown in right field. So the entire outfield. Brown had a huge regional with 3 home runs. And Coach Avent has moved him around a bit this year. He's been in the middle of the order. More recently, he's been batting 7th. And when the Wolfpack is getting that kind of power production from down at the bottom of the lineup, they're really tough to beat.
And when you look on the mound, I mean, obviously Reed Johnston, leads the way for you guys. A 3.9 ERA, 8-2 on the year. And I was kind of looking over here. You guys kind of go through about 5 or 6 pitchers and kind of use that as your rotation. Fair to say Reed Johnston is your ace, and then you just kind of fill in the spots there with the other 5.
Yep. Reed Johnston is the ace. He came on as a freshman and has been kind of their number one guy, even though he has been in the bullpen at times in the past. He's pretty much been the ace since his freshman year. And yeah, when you're looking at NC State's pitching, there's really only about 5 guys you got to plan for because they've thrown 80% of the innings this year. This is a bullpen that's been really depleted in the first month of the year. It just seemed like arm after arm kept going down with injury, and so. This is a team that I thought would be very strong pitching, and they have been. It just hasn't worked out the way that I would have expected. I thought they would have had a lot more depth. Instead, they're just very reliant on getting quality starts from all 3 weekend guys, and then out of the bullpen, you'll see Evan Justice and Chris Villeman. Villeman had been the midweek starter, and now in postseason play, he's coming in as a shutdown guy out of the bullpen. But Justice was the Friday night starter earlier in the year, and since they moved him to the bullpen, that is once they've gotten this pitching rotation and all the roles figured out, that is no coincidence that that's when the team turned things around. I mean, this is a team that was 4-9 overall and 1-8 in the ACC, and since then they've been playing some of the best ball of anybody in the country. And I think figuring out those roles and really having Evan Justice in the back end, he's got 10 saves and he has been pretty much lights out. And you guys know all about that, obviously, with Cobbs, who should be the runaway National Player of the Year. But Justice is kind of in that same mold. You're not going to see him for 6 or 7 innings, but you could see him throw multiple innings on multiple days this weekend.
And me and Phil were having some conversations about you this morning. You're not able to travel down to Baum Walker Stadium for the Super Regional this weekend, which stinks because, I guess Fayetteville obviously known for the environment that they can create with the players and the abundance of fans. And I'm kind of curious from your standpoint, how do you think the players will react just to kind of like the grand atmosphere that is? Obviously this is the first time Arkansas and North Carolina State will meet up. And I'm kind of curious what you think, how the players will receive just the how big it can get here at Arkansas.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I'll be watching it on TV. I was able to see a good bit of the regional and saw some of the game against NJIT and a couple of the Nebraska games, and just what an incredible atmosphere that was. It looks like a ton of fun. Probably the best in college baseball. Just unbelievable. And it's a good question, how the team will respond to that. I can tell you that they're 17-3 on the road this year. They have been a tremendous road team this season and went down to Louisiana Tech and faced a really good crowd there, although much fewer in capacity. So I think that experience down in Ruston will help them a bit. I think the fact that this team is like every team in college baseball this year, there's a few guys that they got back that they probably wouldn't have gotten back if the draft had been shortened to 5 rounds. So it's a very experienced veteran team. But no matter their experience, I don't think they've ever played in an atmosphere like that where it's a super regional. I hear it's a really hard ticket to get, and this weekend, and that'll be a new experience for them.
More like impossible to get right now. But hey, on March 21st, NC State gets swept by Louisville at home. They're 4-7.
Yep.
They've won 29 of 39 games since. What's happened?
Well, I think it's twofold. First of all, it was like I was telling you with some COVID protocols and stuff, there were some guys being held out that they weren't able to get into their rotation the early part of the year. Once those pitching roles were more well-defined, this team took off. The other aspect of that is in the ACC, we played mostly a conference schedule, and we jumped right into conference play. So they got 3 non-conference games, and then immediately met up with Georgia Tech, who's a good baseball team, got swept, lost 2 of 3 to Miami, and then had a 2-week COVID break. And so, obviously you feel like there's going to be some rust factor there. They were still without a couple of their top hitters when you go up against Louisville. And, I don't know how Louisville didn't make the tournament. I'm not saying they were deserving. They weren't. They didn't have the resume, but with all the talent that they had, I just don't understand how they didn't make it. So, anytime you take a couple weeks off, that's not good. And you're without a couple of your top players, and then you run into a very talented Louisville team. And so, yeah, they got swept, and I think without that COVID break, things would have been considerably different. And, that's just, it was a weird year for everybody. And I think, with the way that the NCAA bids worked out, this team did not have the resume in mid-April to host, but in a normal year where they decide that at the end of the year, this is absolutely a regional host.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you jumping on with us here, Andrew, and I hope you have a good call for the Super Regional, whether it's 2 or 3 games. Hope the Razorbacks win. I'll just be honest there with you on that, and I know you feel the opposite way, so appreciate you joining us.
Well, thank you guys for having me, and hey, I think this is going to be a really great series. Let's hope for 3 games. I think it deserves that.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. You got it. That's Andrew Sanders, the radio voice of North Carolina State baseball, and he joins us on Halftime. One very interesting aspect of that, I don't know if you really think it's interesting, but the dude who is my studio engineer for the Razorback baseball games is roommates with Andrew's studio engineer. for all of his baseball games.
Go figure.
The network, the studios are in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and so we've got a little bit of a, I don't know, could you call it network incest? I don't know if that's the right way to call it.
We're reaching a little bit.
Yeah, probably so. 877-377-6963. Hunter Yurachek destroyed Jay Billis. We'll get into that next.
Whoo! Hi, folks. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I need a vacation. I bet you do too. But I can't take a break until I take in 57 trades. So this month, I'll pay you up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value when you trade for the Rath Road Ready vehicle of your choice. And we've got a great selection. Each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So send your old ride packing and get up to $4,000 more than it's worth when you hit the road in a nicer, newer car. Trip delayed by past credit mishaps? Don't worry. We've mapped out the road to more approvals, and you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. Keeping the car you have, get it ready for summer in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends by June 30th, 2021.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The Martins came over, we were having spaghetti when we suddenly noticed that we started getting sweaty as the temperature approached 90 degrees. My buddy said, man, you gotta call AshleyAir.com. When your air conditioner breaks, they're the one you want. AshleyAir.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. The technician showed up the very same day. Got it fixed right and fast, he was on his way. When your air conditioner breaks, you know who to call. There's only one choice, AshleyAir.com.
Live music is back on the patio at Joe's Grill and Cantina every Tuesday and Saturday night. Grab your favorite drink and sit on the patio and enjoy your favorite tunes. And don't forget brunch every Saturday starting at 10:45 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Different brunch specials and your favorite brunch cocktails. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Live music, Taco Tuesday, daily specials, and brunch on Saturdays. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Ramos Roofing is a local roofing company and have over 25 years of experience in the Oklahoma area. Are you looking for a residential or commercial roofing need? Ramos Roofing is the business you can trust, offering discounts for senior citizens, law enforcement, and healthcare workers. Ramos Roofing can help you with your insurance claim. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home. Call 479-420-9903. That's 479-420-9903 for Ramos Roofing.
Here's Gunnar and Jeb.
You excited about going to your daughter's college graduation?
Sure I am.
What kind of things did she learn down there?
Well, she learned, let's see, she learned,
And you spent $40,000 a year on that school?
Oh, that's something she learned. The value of Mama and Daddy's money.
You got that right.
Get the most for your money when buying your next Fort Smith home. Visit nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Family first. My dad used to tell us that all the time. But family first wasn't just something he'd say to us. It was how he lived every day of his life. And it's how I try to live mine too.
At Shelter Insurance, our agents are dedicated to helping provide personalized auto, home, and life protection that puts your family first.
Ask Shelter Agent Phil Hicks about a free insurance review.
This is ESPN 95.3.
The Wick tries again, and Haggy reaches out. It's a soft liner. Jalen battles with the hops, and a great catch at shortstop for out number 2.
The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Trusting the process. All available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Built by Breeden RV Center. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Well, this one under obvious postseason award list. Kevin Kopps is on the list for top stopper of the year in college baseball. Can they just give him the award now? I mean, really, we'll go through the whole rigmarole of telling the other 9 players that they're finalists for
No,
this
it ain't
thing.
even worth it.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. Like, the whole idea of Kevin Kopps is already Golden Spikes and Dick Hauser Award and all that. I think that's true, but it's not a foregone conclusion. Foregone conclusion, he's the stopper of the year nationally. I mean, what? The sun rose today, right? Did it? It's going to set again, will it? Dogs and cats still mostly don't like each other, and men and women don't understand each other.
True.
And water is wet, and all of those things. Yeah, and Kevin Kopps is the best pitcher in college baseball, whether it's relief pitcher or starting pitcher, but I guess they got to do their whole list thing. Chandler in Van Buren has given us a call here, 877. I don't even remember I got too many phone numbers. I've given phone numbers here for like heating and air conditioning companies instead of our hotline. 877-377-6963.
There you go.
Got those freaking numbers burned into my memory here.
Good
Chandler
Lord.
in Van Buren. What number did you call? Do you know you called a radio station, Chandler? How are you?
I called halftime, and I think Hunter Yurchek just gave SmackDown a farewell tour because he just went off the top rope on Jay Billis.
He did.
I'm glad you're going. I'm glad you're going in that direction because I wanted to let SmackDown, like, you want to be a ring announcer for this Hunter Yurchek. It's not even a versus. This wasn't the two of them stepping into the squared circle.
This is a casket match. He threw him. Yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe exactly the tweet that Hunter Yurchek sent to Jay Billis earlier? Well, this really was just an hour ago. That's for you, SmackDown.
Oh, for
not
me,
Chandler.
I thought you were asking Chandler.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How would I describe? I mean, he. Have you boys seen when Mick Foley or when the Undertaker threw Mick Foley off the top of the Hell in a Cell and through the announce table?
I think I've seen some videos of that.
Think about that. I mean, yeah, probably to that level. Maybe just burying Jay Billis alive like the Undertaker would. I mean, I'll just go ahead and throw it and say it. Hunter Yurchek is the doppelganger of the Undertaker.
He sort of masquerades as mild-mannered athletic director.
Exactly. Like he's AD Yurchek by day, and he's the Undertaker by night. He just so happened that the Undertaker popped out in him on Jay Billis, which for those that aren't aware, we can jump into it real quick what we're referring to here.
Oh, absolutely. That's what everybody wants to get at here. Like some people are saying they need to report a murder on Twitter from Jay Billis, and they're going to need to put that tape outline around his body right now.
So Chase Goodbrick retweeted this, and apparently it goes into Mark Emmert talking about these different name, image, and likeness laws, uniform national model, support for Title IX, a bunch of these other rules. Jay Billis responded saying about basically didn't ask for limits on what coaches and administrators can make, nor did it ask for guardrails on selling athletes for billions. He just asked for limits on what they're allowed to do. Hunter Yurchek responded to Jay Billis and said, end quote, he also did not recommend the limits of salaries on college men's basketball television analysts. But why let the hypocritical fact of your salary received from profits made within the current collegiate model interfere with your narrative? And then tagged the website celebritynetworth.com, and Jay Billis is worth apparently $4.5 million.
Yeah. He brought receipts to the fight. Like, did the Undertaker throw receipts at Mick Foley when he threw him off of that thing?
I mean, he did. I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago where, like, Mick Foley had a tooth sticking out of his ear or something because of that fall. So, I mean, Hunter Yurchek, bro.
How does that happen?
A tooth stuck out or tooth broke and was stuck out of his nose.
Well, I think maybe Jay Billis's tongue is sticking out of his belly button then.
Something like
that direction.
Good Lord.
Because this is being destroyed on social media. Not like Billis is going to care very much, but when you are, and I say the same thing about me. I mean, my job, my living is connected to college sports, is connected to unpaid student athletes. If you are working in college sports, whether it's directly for the university athletic department or a media partner, you are also making the money off of the backs of those student athletes. It's good to be able to acknowledge that and acknowledge the truth. And Billis, look, Jay Billis is constantly trying to, at least publicly, like, have the stance of caring about the rights of these student athletes and the things that they can make money off of. But, you know, you open yourself up when you are pointing to the money made by the administrators and making it seem that for them it's all about the money and only about the money. And I've gone off on that before. I know too many athletic administrators who truly care about the student athletes and love the sports that they are involved in, or just love the university that they're a part in. Yes, they make a living too, like we all should be able to make a living. Like Jay Billis, is anybody going to point at Jay Billis's $2 million salary at ESPN as one of the foremost well-known college basketball analysts who does a great job on the games and say, you don't deserve that? There needs to be a guardrail on your salary, Mr. Billis, because you cover college sports. It's the same thing when you point at the administrators. Hunter Yurachek is batting 1,000 on this. This, for me, sounds like pure hypocrisy.
1,000% agreed. And you mentioned, like, ADs just loving their job probably more than their salary. Hunter Yurachek is definitely in that there's probably not a better AD. And like we said, Arkansas bias, but, I mean, is there another AD that cares as much about every sport on a college campus than Hunter Yurachek? I mean, and I'm being completely honest with that. Like, he's there for everybody.
Look, and
he's not just a football AD like Jeff Long was.
Well, I think we appreciate the way that Hunter Yurachek goes about his job. There's no doubt about that. I would like to believe, and I've worked with I think enough administrators to have the sense that athletic directors too across the country care about the student athletes. If you think I'm being naive about this or I'm Pollyanna-ish about it, be around some of these people. Be around some of them. You know, they do deserve, quite honestly, some salaries they make in a lot of cases. They're running huge departments. Anyway, way to go, Hunter. And halftime is right back.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names. And tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told ya.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Still keeping a chance of showers and thunderstorms with us for today. That will only aggravate our flooding concerns, especially across the south. Our high today right around 85. Now a chance of showers and a few thunderstorms tonight. An overnight low will drop down to near 70. And then showers with some scattered thunderstorms Thursday. Our high upper 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Hertz Car Sales. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime. Coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions. And Baum-Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
All right, hit me with it, SmackDown. I only get 2 more of these. Can you feel it?
Oh.
Can you feel it approaching? Minute by minute, it's getting closer, my man. 5 o'clock on Friday. I know for you, the start of the weekend probably is when halftime is over.
That's true.
On Friday, right?
Yeah,
and
of
that
course.
way,
Yeah.
Then you can get that first margarita in you.
Absolutely. Who's to say I don't do one like on Friday mornings? Though it's like my morning coffee.
Well, I saw you last week at Eat My Catfish, and maybe that's a different situation. By the way, Friday we're going to be at the Stadium Shop next door to Baum-Walker Stadium. It's a pretty good place to have a live show the day a Super Regional opens. What about 2 Charlie Welch pinch hit home runs away from Baum-Walker? It's about 700 feet or so between those two, maybe a little longer. That'll be fun. I love going over to the Stadium Shop because they have a great selection, but I hope they have the hat that I like. I only wear hats that fit low on my head.
Yes.
I don't do the tall crown hats. That's why I never wear the game hats that the guys wear during Arkansas baseball games. Even
really?
Though I have a couple of those. Yeah, I don't like how those hats feel on my head. It makes me feel like I've got like a giant head.
I'll trade you heads then if that's the problem. Because you just don't buy hats for me in stores, and the Stadium Shop does. I bought a visor and a hat there before, and they've had hats that fit me. But yeah, I'll be glad to trade you problems.
Have we heard what your hat size is before?
A size 8, the biggest one that you can get.
That's a tough one to find. That's a tough one to find. There's a Bruce Bochy. Bochy. He used to be the manager of the Giants and the Padres, won 3 world championships with the Giants, and was a longtime catcher.
Okay.
He was known as having the biggest head in baseball during his time, so much so that he had to take his catcher's helmet with him anytime he got traded because no team had a helmet that fit his dome. So he would always get it repainted, whatever team he was playing with. His nickname was Buckethead.
I've been called that nickname before.
Would make sense. It would make sense in that case. Anyway, I hope they have those low-lying hats on my head to sort of.
Lots of great options there. Last time we were there, that would have probably been I think it was when we played Memphis. It was, me and the lady went up there and went for that game, and the owner had just a beautiful chocolate lab that came and was just hanging like that was her home. I can't remember the dog's. I think her name was Daisy. I could be wrong. But hopefully that dog will be there Friday. And I'm just going to, I'll talk a little bit, but I'm going to be playing with that dog a whole lot more than paying attention.
So we're at the Stadium Shop Friday for the live show 11 to 1.
Yep.
We did the 10 to 1 thing last Friday, but that's because the Hogs played the 2 o'clock game. So I think Ruskin and Zach lead you into the Learfield IMG pregame.
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll carry you right into the first pitch. So the Wolfpack should arrive today. The teams would work out at Ball Walker tomorrow, and I know that Dave Van Horn will have a Zoomie tomorrow after the workout. So I'm assuming that's when the starting rotation for the weekend will be announced. Wicklander was warming in the bullpen Monday. He didn't pitch, so he did throw Saturday. So theoretically, if he throws Friday, which I think he will, he'd be on a little bit short rest. But I don't think it will affect him all that much.
Does it matter? I mean, obviously it matters. I'm not that he needs to play because he will. But is there a big difference between him starting Friday and Saturday? I mean, I guess Saturday you're in a position to close the thing or try to need a win. But is it that big of a deal that he's not getting his normal rest, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because he's pitched on – what you're getting essentially is 5 instead of 6 days. And he's done that a number of times this year. Okay. I think he'll be fine. I really do. And it'll be Reed Johnston will pitch for NC State. That seems to be a foregone conclusion. Has had really good performances 2 in a row in the postseason. And in the opener in their regional against Alabama, he threw 8 innings, allowed a run, struck out 7, and that's a halfway decent, not great, but a halfway decent Alabama lineup that he got through fairly easily. 877-377-6963. I think I gave the phone number correctly there.
Yeah, you did. No, it wasn't no 855.
Good thing,
garbage
because Bud Anderson Heating and Cooling probably wants their phone to ring, but they only paid for us to read that once per show. Tomorrow we've got Bob Holt coming on, as usual, for Thursday. And usually the conversation we have going on with Bob centers around the Razorback athletic season at that time. Mm-hmm. And he covers it all, baseball, basketball, football. Bob has covered track for a long time as well for the Democrat Gazette. And tomorrow when he comes on, I would like to converse with Bob about John McDonnell, and only about John McDonnell. We'll get so much into the baseball series we already did with Andrew Sanders. We will. We're working on Todd Walker, who's going to be calling the games on the ESPN networks. So, we don't need to get into the super regional too much with Bob. I think he knew John McDonnell really well and covered those national championships. So, and I've never pertained to really know very much about track and field. I mean, I can see what's fast and what's not. We haven't paid all that much attention to it. But it's the preeminent track program in the world because of this man, and certainly Chris Bucknam and Lance Harder have done great work to try to match up to that level. I think Coach Harder certainly has in many ways, but the two of them, after the passing of the legendary track and field coach at Arkansas on Monday, they shared some thoughts and memories of John McDonnell. Wanted to play those for you, and then we'll get more into this with Bob Holt tomorrow because again, Bob knew Coach McDonnell fairly well, and from what we're hearing, and I never met him. I heard Chuck Barrett talk about him, Clay Henry talk about him, a number of others. He seemed to be one of the nicest people you could ever come into contact with, and I'm very interested to hear Bob's point of view about McDonnell as a coach and about McDonnell as a man. But let's you got a couple of these things clipped out, SmackDowns. You can introduce them.
Yeah, we'll play a couple of these. Here's Chris Bucknam talking about Chad McDonald, or can't even think right now. John McDonald talking about the building of the indoor track facility and just changing the sport of track as a whole.
And I think he brought indoor track to a new level when he got together with Don Tyson and they created that the Tyson Center with the bank track. And it wasn't just track people in Fayetteville. It was every walk of life in Fayetteville that appreciated the winning and, what he brought for the state of Arkansas. And so when you look at the indoor track, he kind of changed that whole model with a banked indoor track. And I think that's how he changed the sport. His name is on the John McDonnell Program of the Year award because of, that legacy that he created. He won everything. It's so impressive. And, Arkansas hit the lottery when they hired him. And of all the national championships, I think that was one of his biggest, he told me one of his best accomplishments, and just speaks for the type of coach he was, so that he was there for everybody at every season. He always felt like every season had a meaning. cross country works towards indoors, and indoors is important towards outdoors. And without all three of them, you never reach your potential. Those are the kind of few things I picked up, and I think how, he changed the sport.
SmackDown, that track center, the Tyson Track Center, which is connected to the Fowler indoor hitting facility, which of the Hog baseball team shares with track. They have just a little sliver of it. Going inside the Tyson Track Center, you might not realize that it is one of the preeminent indoor track facilities in the world. And they call it the fastest track in the world. You hear Coach Bucknam talking about it being banked. You notice that when you walk in, and I don't know if other indoor tracks are like that. The outdoor track doesn't seem to be. The indoor is. I wonder if that was an idea of his. And when you walk in there, you see, so the baseball program right now, you would say, is it the crown jewel of the athletic department because of all the recent success? Still don't have a national championship. And they've got their trophy case in the hallway of the Fowler Center. And it's got the Southwest Conference championships. It's got all the trophies that designate advancing to the College World Series. You got the runner-up trophy from 2018. Across the hallway on the other wall is a trophy case that is 5 times larger. With every national championship that Coach McDonald won, it is simply stunning to see the difference between those two programs. And baseball is incredibly successful, still does not come close to touching track.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy to think. I've never seen the inside of the Tyson indoor track facility. I would love to, and maybe we can dive more into that with Bob tomorrow. But never really seen the embankment of a track facility like that. So it's definitely fun to see. Here's one more for you. This is Lance Harder, the women's track coach, just describing John McDonald just as a person, coach, mentor, and being heard that he was compared to John Wooden at one point.
He was just such a great teacher and mentor. It was more than just the successes and the trophies and all the honors. It was to make sure that you were a success in life and that you moved on. And it really broke his heart when, somebody went astray for one reason or another, because that's not what he stood for. And he wanted to make sure that, you were a great contribution to society after you left your running career. He was just one of those individuals that had the vision way beyond just being titled coach. I know there was a story about somebody mentioned John Wooden as being the greatest coach to him. And he said, no, there's a track coach out there that's won much more than I ever had. And I think, you have icons like that respect each other. He was in that conversation.
In the same conversation as John Wooden. That's crazy.
Well, to hear somebody tell a story that John Wooden said, no, I'm not the greatest. There's this other guy who's winning more. That's incredible. And I know he was a cattleman after he retired, and Travis texted in. Apparently, you would see him at the local cattle sales barn all the time. He was very nice and friendly. Very, very.
And I think they were interviewing Nolan Richardson on the Pig Trail Nation, just talking about his experiences with John McDonald, and that John helped Nolan start his farm, because obviously we know about Nolan Richardson's farm, and that's where he retired and everything about that. That's all a credit to John McDonald. So,
well, there's some great links on the Arkansas Razorbacks website. Right there at the top of the page, it's got a video that Professor Foley put together from the journalism department that describes his career at Arkansas and a little bit before. The Pryor Center has a 7.5-hour interview with him that details his entire life. Also the arrangements for Coach McDonald's funeral, and images of him right there at ArkansasRazorbacks.com. And we'll get into that heavy with Bob Holt tomorrow, because I think Bob probably had a really good sense of him as a man and as a coach. We are also on the road to Omaha. It's Arkansas and North Carolina State this weekend, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. Winner heads to Omaha. We want to be there, don't we, SmackDown?
We do, and we're going to get there because of Steve Feinberg and Associates, commercial real estate specialists serving the Northwest Arkansas area. You can find out more from them at arkrealestate.com. The Grease Pig in Fayetteville off North College and MLK, servicing all of your vehicle oil changes, service, and repairs, and also Construction Masters Roofing. Ready for all of your roofing needs and more. You can give them a call at 479-648-8888. All three of these lovely businesses and people ready to send us to Omaha. We are on the road to Omaha, and it starts this weekend to get the boys there, Phil.
Well, we are going to have Bill King with us in a couple of segments. After the break, this is how life balances out so perfectly for the baseball person and me. I do the games for the number one team in college baseball. My Major League Baseball team doesn't even know to touch first base on a home run. How bad are the Pirates? They're terrible.
Arkansas has the number one team in baseball, and that means you have to pick out a place that has everything you need. Cold beer, TVs everywhere, and the best food around. Walk-On's Fort Smith is your ideal place.
Dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
0-2 on Slavens. Harry slings it in. And the slider's thrown to the backstop. Sprinting in from third, Goodhart. They shuffle home. Safe. Throw got away. They'll try to score. Wallace. Throw home. Safe.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins. Join us at Walk-On's Fort Smith for every Omaha's game in the regional and super regionals. 4306 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hey, if you're looking for a job, Baxter Regional Medical Center is hiring right now, offering competitive wages, generous benefits, and much more. All the openings are available at workwhereyouvacation.com. That's where you can also find out all info about the openings and put through your application. That's workwhereyouvacation.com. Baxter Regional Medical Center is an equal opportunity employer. They provide excellent care for every patient, every time. Baxter Regional also wants to thank their volunteers for their help during the pandemic. If you'd like to be a volunteer, find out more info at baxterregional.org. Oh, look who's called us up here. So this would be specifically not Bobby. This would be Hog Noxious that has called us
It
up.
would be.
How are you today, Hog Noxious?
I'm recuperating. I'm not doing too bad.
So that, does that mean
getting ready for the
yesterday you were?
weekend.
Did it mean yesterday you were in a state of exhaustion?
Yes, that's exactly right. I was puffed, worn out, tuckered. It was a long weekend.
Sure was. And you. There's no way you're the only baseball fan that felt like that. I would bet you that everybody in that stadium, not just for Monday, because I think most of the people there Monday were there Sunday and Saturday and Friday. I think all of us are just pooped. But does it take very much for you to get your energy back for a super?
Not when you're doing one. Not when you're going to a super. Not when you win like that. Not when you win yet another series on a weekend. Oh, these guys are good. I'll tell you, Phil, I've been meaning to mention this to you. I've been going to Razorback baseball games almost 40 years. And Kevin Kopp's coming in out of the bullpen is about the oddest experience that I have had. It was particularly magnified the night that we won the SEC championship. He's announced as the pitcher. In fact, even before he may be announced, he's coming out of the bullpen, and the music may start playing before he's announced. But when he comes out of the bullpen, everyone starts cheering and they stand. Okay, that's reasonable. But this standing while he warms up and standing in reverence while he warms up to come in the ballgame, it's just so odd. I mean, it's not like it's the Amida or something. It's kind of that experience when you're at a Christmas concert and they play Handel's Messiah and everybody realizes, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to stand for this. And everybody stands up. And I don't understand why people are standing.
Well,
I guess they're seeing a unicorn.
That's exactly what it is. Let me get in the mind here of the fan, because you feel like, and you've been a fan of Arkansas baseball longer than most, Hog Noxious. So I think you would agree with this statement. It's the same ideas. Like I remember attending Pedro Martinez pitch against the Braves at Fenway in '99, and he struck out. There's like 17 batters. You notice something special is happening. Now that was just a single game. To take it into the context of a full season, you just know you're watching something that is special. You use the term unicorn. He is a unicorn, and you need to appreciate that while you have it, because this won't happen again. And it's not because Kevin isn't coming back next year. Nobody's ever pitched like this before. I can't imagine anybody doing it again. So I appreciate people probably having the same mindset.
And they should. This is a special deal to watch it. And by the way, I still can't figure out why those guys can't hit it. That looks like a hittable pitch to me. I'm trying to explain it to my wife. I think it's when you're a really good hitter, you identify that pitch by the spin and the angle when it comes out of his hands, because you have to or you're not going to hit it. And the way he spins it and the way he releases it, they don't see it. They see the spin and the release point, and they go, that's a ball, and then it drops in for a strike. They see the spin, they see the release point, and they think, oh, I can hit that. That's going to be here. And it's not anywhere close. And then they have to adjust while they're swinging. They don't get a good swing on it.
I think the way that there's something in the way he throws the ball where it must be doing something different than a cutter usually does, or a slider usually does. I know Kyle Peterson has spoken about just that he's never seen a right-hander's pitch ever move quite the way that Kopps's does. And that might also be one of the reasons why it's been so difficult to define what the pitch is. Call it a cutter, call it a slider, call it Steven, whatever. Maybe, just maybe, this is a pitch that's never quite been thrown like this before.
It's really something. You know, you were doing the game. When we went to South Carolina, our TV got the South Carolina announcers, and their color guy was just livid. Why aren't you getting up there and swinging at that? Get up there, buck up, go up there, swing that bat. And I tend to agree with him. It looks hittable to me, but clearly it's not, because he's faced some of the best hitters in college baseball.
That's right. And I can't wait to see what happens in pro ball, because I think, and Obnoxious, appreciate the phone call, man. It's always great talking. Can't wait to see you this weekend, kilt or no kilt. I can't wait to see what he does against professional hitters. I really can't. He's going to get that opportunity. And when I say professional hitters, I don't mean major league hitters. We always have to draw the distinction between the two. Kevin should be going right to Double-A when he's done with the team this year, and promoted aggressively through the minor leagues. If I'm a general manager of a major league team, I want that unicorn pitch. I want that unicorn pitch, and I want him going to Double-A, and I want to see what he can do against Double-A hitters, and then go from there. Because it might look hittable, but guess what? It ain't. We're talking with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio after the break.
The Road to Omaha is presented by the Grease Pig Lube and Tune, with 2 locations in Fayetteville. Constructions Masters Roofing, ready for your roofing needs and more. Call 479-648-8888. And by Steve Feinberg and Associates, commercial real estate specialists serving Northwest Arkansas. Go to arkrealestate.com.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
For every regional and super regional Omahawks game, we'll have Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction.
Kevin Kopp, if you're listening, I'm married and I don't have many years left, but will you marry me?
Don't do it.
Will you marry me, Kevin Kopp?
Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction will be live at Walk-On's Fort Smith. Come see us at 4306 Phoenix Avenue. Walk-On's Fort Smith is the #1 place to watch Arkansas punch its ticket to Omaha.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006. Will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Do you want to work for a trucking company with state-of-the-art technology? A trucking company that will give you the tools to do your job and make a great living and come home safe? Of course you do. That company you want to work for is Brent Higgins Trucking in Mulberry. Brent and Connie Higgins genuinely care about your future and your family. Brent Higgins Trucking, where you're a name, not a number. Call them today at 479-997-2366 or apply online at BrentHigginsTrucking.com.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Whether it's a game day, a holiday, office function, or your family lunch or dinner, Whole Hog Cafe Fort Smith is ready to serve you their award-winning barbecue and sides. Dine in or call either of the Whole Hog Fort Smith locations, Borough Road or Phoenix Avenue, or go online to wholehogfortsmith.com and check out their buddy packs and party packs. Both Whole Hog locations are currently open 11 till 6, Tuesday through Saturday. Experience award-winning barbecue and sides at Whole Hog Cafe today.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Stand in the place where you live. Now think about direction.
The stretch and the pitch. Line drive center field. Franklin to his right is there. He makes the catch. And the number one team in the country has their second SEC title in the last 2 weeks. The Arkansas Razorbacks are not just SEC regular season champions, but for the first time in program history, they are the champions of the SEC tournament. And the fact of the matter is this team just does not know how to lose.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and SmackDown.
Our friend Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, the king of college football talk, is also a big-time college baseball fan, as we've been talking with him about the SEC tournament and the regionals last week. And, boy, you got some fun regionals going on in the state of Tennessee where you live this weekend, Bob. I really love the Tennessee-LSU matchup. That one feels like it actually could be one of the most entertaining matchups, not just because of anything going on the field, but I remember Paul Maneri didn't have some really good things to say about the Tennessee fans after they left Knoxville, taking 3 losses in a row. Those Tigers are playing good baseball now.
Yeah, and even though it's LSU, I would say even playing with nothing to lose. And that's very dangerous. That series a few weeks back got very chippy, and it was a lot of chirping from the stands at the LSU players, and you guys know Tony Vitello as well, if not better than anybody else. He's a go-getter, man. He's a fiery guy, and this should be very, very interesting.
It really should. I loved the shots, and SmackDown and I were talking about this yesterday because everybody in Arkansas still is feeling a little raw from the argument that Vitello and Coach Van Horn had. I think they've put that aside right now. I think for the two of them, it's water under the bridge because I saw them talking friendly before the SEC tournament championship game, and they're always going to be battling against each other. But I don't really harbor a lot of negative feelings for Tennessee because they got Luke Bonfield, they got Elander, a couple of coaches that were here. I still like Tony. I loved seeing the video of Tony sprinting into the huddle of his team after they won the regional and then going into the stands to high-five all the fans. And those fans right now I know have to be nervous. They got to be feeling nervous because, well, A&M just hired Schlossnagel from TCU, so they're not going to get Vitello. Maybe LSU's going to get O'Sullivan. But it feels right now like Tennessee's like trying to really do their best foot forward and keep Tony Vitello in Knoxville.
Haven't seen the fan base that energized since Bruce Pearl. It's been a while, and he did that. And obviously that did not end well. And guys, I don't remember all the conversations, do so many shows, but that conversation at the end of the Arkansas-Tennessee series was about a JUCO player in Missouri who's from Arkansas, who apparently every time he hits the baseball, he hits it to Jupiter. And he's committed to Tennessee, and Arkansas is still recruiting him. Apparently that's how dumb that conversation was. Had nothing to do with the game.
Yep, nothing at all. Nothing. And again, I just think it was a heat of the moment thing.
Sure.
Fans are not going to forget those things either. They also sometimes don't forget when the state of Arkansas is referred to as Arkansas, Bill. I saw a tweet that you put out that referred to that. You were watching the Arkansas-Nebraska baseball game. Do you usually refer to Arkansas as Arkansas?
I don't recall. I think somebody hacked my account. I don't think that was me. There's a lot of Bill Kings out there. You never know.
Yeah, that's fun. So what do you think about the Vandy ECU one? Because I still think Vanderbilt is a College World Series team and a national championship contending club, and I know maybe they haven't been quite as good as they were early in the season. I still think that's a really good baseball team with two pitchers that I'm just not sure if ECU will be able to handle.
I don't know much about ECU. I know their coach is another former Vandy assistant under Tim Corbin 10 years ago or so, and has done a very good job. Yeah, you would think Vanderbilt's going to get out of there, and to get. It'd be really interesting if Tennessee and Vanderbilt both ended up. I can promise you, I haven't looked in the history books, and I don't need to. That's never happened.
Bill King joining us here on Halftime. Bill, early this week we were kind of tossing around the idea of like, would Nick Saban possibly get the retirement celebration that Mike Krzyzewski's getting? And not even while we were having that conversation, the news broke of Nick Saban getting a contract extension with Alabama through 2028, I believe it was. I don't have the article pulled up right in front of me at the moment, but do you even see Nick Saban finishing out that contract? 74 years old right now. I mean, do you see him finishing out that contract leading up to 2029?
Wouldn't surprise me. Now, things can change. I believe he's 70. You guys can look this up, and he's a young 70. And you got to remember, he doesn't have any hobbies. He doesn't want to go play golf. He doesn't want to sit in a hammock somewhere. He's doing his hobby. Grinding out every day is his hobby. And I don't think he's going to be quick to want to stop doing that. Now, could something happen to a family member or maybe unexpected health issue? Sure. And if he starts feeling like maybe he's becoming ineffective because of age, meaning that the players aren't wanting to be recruited like they used to, something like that could change it. But, guys, I would not put it past him. He's not looking to go and sit around all day.
He's 69 years old, and I misspoke. And I believe the age I was referring to was more of like how old he'd be prior to then. But right. 69 years old right now to that. Kind of bringing back Krzyzewski into this mix more with Saban on the side of it, do you think Nick Saban call him what it is, but he's probably more of an old school coach. I mean, he's been there, done that for years and years with college basketball or college football. Do you think he's ready to adjust with this name, image, and likeness that's coming into play, the transfer portal that's really picking up steam? Obviously it is in basketball and the same thing in football. Is Nick Saban the kind of guy in your mind that can adapt and adjust with how quickly college athletics is changing before our eyes?
I would anticipate he's ahead of everybody in preparation for all of these changes. And I would also dare to tell you that in his mind, this just makes him more dominant. That's the way he looks at it. Transfer portal now, every year, he's going to be able to go poach a player at one position where maybe he's not quite satisfied. And it's going to be a really good player, too.
Yeah.
Like Henry To'o. They were missing one linebacker, basically, on that level. And he's going to be able to do that every year. So I think he's looking at it like, you just put more championships in my pocket.
Bill, I heard this was somebody filling in for Feinbaum, and he's out of Nashville, so it's somebody you probably know, and I can't remember who it was. But he's talking about that the stuff is going to eventually be, and this might be used in fall of the SEC. This is going to be the thing that gets the Pac over the SEC in terms of getting better athletes and everything. And I think he's overthinking things and trying to simplify things too much about big cities out west and all, and marketing and Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. If I'm a student athlete and I want to make money off my name, image, and likeness, I want to be in a program that has rabid fans. And to be quite honest, UCLA and USC ain't the same as the SEC. So I think I don't think the name, image, and likeness is going to hurt the SEC at all. I think it may actually raise it up.
Yeah, I don't think it'll hurt them either. There's so much passion. And every school's got big name sugar daddies and medium level sugar daddies. All of them do. Guys, Vanderbilt's got enough money to buy the world if they wanted to. That's Vanderbilt, right? Which you don't think of Vanderbilt in that way. I think it's a big advantage. I think so for the Big Ten too. Some of those big Ohio State's so strong, and Michigan schools like that are gonna, you would think, take big time advantage of this.
Bill, one more thing before I throw it back over to Phil. The news started to break a couple days ago and really started picking up steam now with the potential of a 12-team playoff, college football playoff, leading the way as this thing is starting to progress. I know we've talked several times just about playoff expansion. You're not necessarily in favor of it. So apparently with this leading the way, is this the answer to everybody's whining and complaining that it's the same 4 teams every year?
I mean, it might pacify that crowd. It's not going to pacify me. The big thing about the 12 is 8's not attractive, at least the theory is, to the SEC, because you're losing at-large bids. Right now, all bids are at-large. And if you go to this model they're discussing, which is 6 guaranteed, automatic bursts, and then 6 at-larges, that leaves a bunch of them, which means probably 3 more SEC teams get in every year outside of Alabama. That's what's so attractive about this. I think, guys, I hate the idea. I hate the model idea that we have to copy pro sports. I resent it with every fiber of my being. But I've also been saying since before the 2014 season, it's coming. And it may be coming bigger than we think. I never thought the next number was 12, but it sounds like, at least in the moment, that number is popular.
Last thing here, Bill, and then I'll let you go. You are the king of college football talk, and you do a lot of football throughout the year on your show, and I trust everything you say about this sport. So in the next segment, I'm doing a whole thing about I don't think that I sit around wanting it to be baseball season all the time when it's not baseball season. Do you right now, as it is early June, and you still have summer, grilling season, and everything else that goes along with that, baseball season as well, do you spend a lot of time in the college football off season just wishing it was football season?
Never.
Thank you.
I have the playing portion. I've got 2 seasons, and there is no off season. I've got a playing portion and a non-playing portion, and they're all filled with content. And I like the rhythm of the calendar. That's why when they just announced the USFL is going to come back, or some other pro league, I can't watch that stuff. Football is not a void, even though I talk about it every day. Games on the field is not a void in my life in the late winter and spring. I'm good.
Well, that's exactly how I feel, too, and I'm glad that the king of college football talk agrees with me on that. Bill, enjoy the Supers this weekend, and I think we'll be previewing Arkansas and Vandy in the College World. So they may play each other, may do it again.
Thanks Bill.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Bill's show is worth listening to as well, 6 to 9 Nashville Sports Radio. Hey, the Fence Man, that's worth talking to the Fence Man. It's
Absolutely.
the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. They build custom gates. They build wrought iron fences, custom wrought iron installation, automatic gates, controlled access systems, cameras, security installations, lots more. And it's also quick, easy, and most importantly, affordable. 18-month, same as cash financing, now available at the Fence Man. 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Wrapping up the show with Change My Mind right after this.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts, so whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Ramos Roofing is a local roofing company and have over 25 years of experience in the Oklahoma area. Are you looking for a residential or commercial roofing need? Ramos Roofing is the business you can trust. Offering discounts for senior citizens, law enforcement, and healthcare workers, Ramos Roofing can help you with your insurance claim. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home. Call 479-420-9903. That's 479-420-9903 for Ramos Roofing.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18-month same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Shed bright LED lights on your project with a 4-foot strip light from Metters Lumber True Value for only $29.99. This 2-lamp light with circular lens has the look of a fluorescent fixture with the efficiency of LED technology. It features 4,200 lumens and a 50,000 hour life. For your convenience, it can be surface, toggle, or chain mounted. Check out this bargain of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Attention, attention. Do you have a fifth wheel, travel trailer, or motorhome that you don't get to use as often as you want? Well, Breeden RV has a solution. Breeden RV wants to buy your RV. Due to the historic events that have happened over the past year, RVs are in high demand, and Breeden RV will pay you top dollar for yours. So push it, pull it, or drag it to Breeden RV in Van Buren today for your free appraisal and get cash in hand within an hour. Call Breeden RV at 479-262-2418 or visit them on the web at breedenrvs.com.
When it comes to your gas bill, one size does not fit all. So AOG offers many payment options. Did you know you can arrange to pay online with the click of a mouse or pay by phone? You can even sign up for automatic bill payment from your checking or savings account. AOG also has a paperless billing option to reduce that clutter in your mailbox. Of course, you can bring your payment to our 24-hour drop box or to one of many convenient locations throughout our service area. To find a payment option that's a perfect fit, visit AOGC.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Costu sets with a 1-2 pitch on the way. Pavoloni, it's a sharp ground ball. Stopped on a dive by Battles. Flips to second. Moore stretches. They got him for the force at second base. Whoa, what a play by both Jalen Battles and Robert Moore.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
I didn't do this song on purpose for this to come back here. Wine Beer and Whiskey by Little Big Town for our Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. They're the place to go. And make sure you download the latest edition of the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. And we are on the road to Omaha, being brought to you by Steve Feinberg and Associates, the Grease Pig in Fayetteville, and Construction Master Roofing. All these guys are helping us get on the road to Omaha. We've started it last weekend, and we're almost there heading this weekend, heading into the Super Regionals. That is the road to Omaha, fellas.
I'm not sure which direction to take this here. I could do the change my mind, or we could have more fun with how bad are the Pirates.
Ooh.
Because we got so much stuff in this rundown that we didn't get to today. So I'm not quite sure which direction to go. Hey, I was proud that Wally Hall wrote about baseball today in the Democrat Gazette.
Oh, that's good.
That's like a once every 5 years kind of a thing. But he did refer to no team has swept Arkansas this year. More like no team has beaten them twice this year. And there's a large difference between those two. Anyway, I mean, I spend a little time complaining that Wally doesn't write enough about baseball or ever about baseball, and then I end up, when I read it, wishing that he hadn't.
And then you're reminded, right.
Exactly. And I say that as someone who's admirer of Wally for many other reasons, but writing about baseball or having anything to do with baseball is certainly not one of them. I'm also not a person who's just sitting around ready for baseball season during December or January. You know, I mean, I love the sport with all my being, but there is such a thing as too much of a good thing, and there's other things that you can focus on in life than just the sport that is your favorite. So, you know, and I saw this, what is her name? Caitlin Heffler. She's from Fox Sports. She's a Twitter, TikTok content person, and she tweeted, "Who's ready for it to be football season?" So I retweet very simply, nope, not ready for it to be football season. And really, that really doesn't have anything to do with Arkansas baseball being where it is. It's the calendar of where it is. Like, the summer hasn't even started yet. Can we enjoy going to the beach or having a vacation or visiting someplace you've never been before, or go to a national park, or, you know, a movie or a museum, or go just something like that? Take a freaking nap, for crying out loud. I mean, does anybody sit around really just pining for football season all the time? It's not the kind of thing that I think is a very healthy way to live. Anticipating it and looking forward to it is way different than just always wishing that it was there.
Right.
I just loved hearing from Bill King, who pays as close attention to the college football season as anybody that has skin. And he does not watch the spring games. He does not pay too much attention to what's happening in spring football. I'm sure he'll read the articles like we do and everything about that. But it isn't the end-all, be-all. And I'm never going to treat the sport of football like that.
1,000% agree with you.
And for those, you know, and I absolutely despise when I hear, because I think it's insulting, that a football championship is going to mean more than anything else. I don't care. What anybody that comes with that attitude, with that perception of what is valuable, you are demeaning the accomplishments of the student athletes who win those championships. Like, go ahead and tell John McDonnell and all of the student athletes that viewed him as a father that football championships mattered more than his championships. Does it bring more money into the state? Sure. Does it get more eyes on it? Sure. Don't act like that. Don't act like that. It's not the way to handle yourself. And when I hear people, you know, tell me that baseball doesn't matter here, football's all that matters here, I watch these baseball games with 11,084 people there, and that was the biggest thing that they experienced all year this last weekend.
Yeah.
And that will always mean something to them. Do not put the sports against each other. That is not necessary. It doesn't need to be looked at that way. And just because you like football more than any other sport doesn't make you tough. Sometimes people come from that perspective too. Anyway.
You're 100% right. I mean, and kind of go back to what you just said, like if one college football national championship is better than 5. I mean, can you imagine the jubilation and I guess the excitement that if Arkansas baseball was to pull this thing off and win, especially considering what happened 3 years prior? Like, I get, yes, a football national championship, I mean, people are going to go ballistic. People are going to go absolutely buck wild if we win this thing this year.
Why can't we just why can't you just, like, celebrate the things as they happen
Absolutely.
And then move on to the next?
Yes.
Like, I don't pay attention to track. I don't understand a lot of it, you know, but you got to appreciate the dominance of these programs, of what Coach McDonald's done, of what Coach Harder is doing right now.
Yep.
And everybody will always say, oh, yeah, we won national championship for basketball, and everyone throws it in, oh, then there's track, as if it's the last thought. And for me, sometimes it isn't in my mind because I'm not a track person. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to put those national championships against any others from this university and say that they matter less. It's insulting. It's not worth it. If you're really going to be a Razorback fan, if you're really going to be like a Razorback person, it should be – I'm not saying you got to watch all of the sports, but celebrate each title for what it is, which is being the best in that sport in the country. And also appreciate that you're going to have much more opportunities to win national championships in the other sport than football, just because.
Was this a change my mind or get off my lawn? Levi in Southwest Arkansas is confused because he thinks this is get off our lawn right now.
It's both put together. We didn't do a get off my lawn yesterday. This is like a get out of my mind or get off of my
change my lawn or something.
Change my lawn. Is that a thing?
That probably is a thing.
Change my lawn is going with a zero-scape. That's ripping out your grass and throwing in a bunch of rocks. That's change my lawn.
You talked about that. Alan Fort Smith has changed my mind. Hawk fans got to stop telling each other that they aren't real fans over dumb blank. And he says change my mind about that, but kind of ties into what you were just discussing here. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff that we didn't get to today. Obviously, how bad are the Pirates? And we can – do you want to play – we got about 2 or 3 minutes. You want to go do a quick how bad are the Pirates real quick?
Okay, how bad are the Pirates? This is how bad they are.
It's this hard the other way. Does it stay fair? It is gone and hit the pole. An opposite field home run for Key Brian Hayes.
It's fair pole, Greg Brown.
Fireworks and everything.
Well, now the Dodgers are either asking for a review of the home run, or they also appealed first base because Hayes was busting it out of the box, and they're claiming that maybe he missed first base. What? Call a foul? He did miss first. They're calling him out. That's unbelievable.
Well, don't tell Rick Schaefer it's unbelievable because he says there is no such thing. Yeah, everything's believable with the Pirates. Are you kidding me? If they forgot to show up for a game, that would be believable, for crying out loud. In fact, that might even be a better idea. Don't show up for the games. Why would you do that to your fans?
How many was it a solo shot?
It was a solo home run in the first inning. They lost 5-3.
I was going to say I didn't know if that was obviously it was probably a difference in the game, but you lost by 2 runs. So
they're Dr. Pirates, man. They got the Dodgers winning again. You know, they make the sick teams well again. It's like they're like they ought to be called the Pittsburgh vaccines, for crying out loud.
What can make the Pirates well again?
being relegated to the minor leagues, which they already are. That's how you win. That's how the Pirates win more games. Become a AAA team. That's how. I love how much I hate him. I love how much I love our show, and we're doing it tomorrow. I'll be at Baum Walker Stadium. That's right. And for Maddie and for SmackDown, I'm Phil. Hope you enjoyed yourself today. Now get up, get out, and get better.